calling to order the Monday, May 5th, 2014 regular meeting of the 35th Council of the City of Berkeley. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Baker.
Here.
Councilmember Blanchard.
Here.
Councilmember Edgar.
Here.
Councilmember Kadekel.
Here.
Councilmember Stedman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Turbrack.
Here.
Mayor O'Dwyer.
Here. Now, the first order of business is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Councilmember Baker with support by Councilmember Kadekel. Are there any changes, additions? Hearing none. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Blanchard.
Yes.
Edgar.
Yes.
Kadekel.
Yes.
Stedman.
Yes.
Turbrack.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now I see Majid Steve Klepper is with us, so please stand for the invocation.
There's a story of a prince whose father, the king, wants to make sure he's going to be the right kind of king. And so he gives them the task of moving the boulder that sits outside the palace into the throne room. And the prince goes out and looks at this boulder the size of a house and can't understand how he's going to move it into the throne room until he sees a young boy down at the river taking smooth stones out of the river bottom, breaking them into small pieces and tying them up to sell as trinkets in the marketplace. And the prince realizes that his father, the king, never told him he had to move the boulder all in one piece. May God grant us the wisdom to not try and do too much at once. May God grant us the strength and the clarity to continue serving our community by doing many small things well. Shema Kolenu, may you hear our voice. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it all be according to God's will, on earth as in heaven. And together we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Now please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, the next item on the agenda is citizens' comments, when you may present your thoughts on issues that are not included on tonight's agenda. Council members will not engage you in discussion. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or a department of the city, please sign your name on the sheet provided at the clerk's table. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it is being considered. When you come to the microphone, please state your name and city of residence. Now, before someone comes to the microphone, we have a small piece of business and an important piece of business to transact. Mr. Sessa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. I am very pleased to formally announce and introduce to the public our new city clerk, Ms. Pomedy Annette Boucher. And this becomes effective May 5th, 2014. Just to give you a little background on Ms. Boucher, I'm pleased to report that she has worked for the City of Berkeley for the past 5 years as the city's deputy city clerk. And currently, she is working on becoming a certified municipal clerk from the Michigan Municipal Clerks Association. Ms. Boucher has an associate's degree in business administration from Oakland Community College, and this degree has a concentration in accounting. Her work experience is very diverse and includes time served as an honorably discharged veteran of the United States Army. Her rank at the time of discharge was that of a specialist. Her major duties included administration and food service. Her military service includes 3 years on active duty and 2.5 years in the Washington National Guard. I'm very pleased to introduce you to Ms. Annette, Ms. Pomedy Annette Boucher. And with that, Mr. Mayor, will you please swear her in? Thank you, Ms. Boucher.
Please raise your right hand. I, Pomedy A. Boucher,
I, Pomedy A. Boucher,
having been duly appointed as city clerk
having been duly appointed as city clerk
for the city of Berkeley,
for the city of Berkeley,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Charter of the City of Berkeley,
the Charter of the City of Berkeley,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Congratulations.
So excited. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now, if anyone wants to come to the microphone.
Good evening. My name is Judy Rubin from the Tri-Community Coalition, and I live in Huntington Woods. Happy Cinco de Mayo today to all of you. I just like to come here, as you know, every once in a while to touch base and share with you some things that are going on in the coalition. And as you may or may not be aware, at the state level in Michigan, there's a coalition of marijuana law reform advocates who have announced 12 cities who they've targeted for a petition to put a pro-marijuana initiative on the ballot of 2014. Oak Park has been targeted for that, and I believe it is just for decriminalization. But I know that Berkley is right there, the next tier. So I just wanted you to know that the coalition will be here for any strategizing. I can meet with any one of you, and we can help go through some initial strategies of how you want to go about that, or if you want to go about it, I don't know. I'm assuming you do, to not have marijuana legalized in the city of Berkeley. But I just wanted to let you know that. A few other things I wanted to let you know. On May 19th, I will be presenting at the Rotary about marijuana initiatives and marijuana in general, and also with Jody Debreck-Switulski, who will be talking about the heroin epidemic as it has taken off from our prescription drugs epidemic throughout the nation, and particularly in Michigan, and most particularly in our area, and that's her expertise. So she'll be presenting at the Rotary, which is the last meeting actually at the church. It meets at the, I think it's, I want to say the First Berkeley Church, but I'm not. First, thank you. First United Methodist Church. It's on 12 Mile Road.
And Kipling.
Yes, at 12:15 on Monday. So I wanted to offer you that opportunity to come and hear Judge Jody. On May 28th, I'm also would like to let you know that the coalition is having a workshop on cultural competency, and it's going to be a very nice event. We're having it at the Avery School, and it's at 5:30 on May 28th. So, and dinner will be served. I'm inviting all of you. So just, you probably all know my email address, but it's jsrtricom@tricommunitycoalition.org, and I would love to see you there. The other thing, June 16th, please don't forget that June 16th is our annual golf outing at Rackham, and I invite you all to participate and be a part of it. A wonderful event. It's always been fun. We now have a large silent auction table, and we're starting an online bidding table, or online bidding site as well that you can go to. So if you go to our website, which is www.tricommunitycoalition.org, you'll find all the particulars there. And one last thing, the offer is still on the table to put a drop box in the city. We're offering to buy the prescription drug lockbox to put it somewhere in Berkeley. So, you know, it's our pleasure to offer that to you. So I just wanted to let you know. But thank you so much. That's it. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no one else coming to the microphone, then we move on to the consent agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read the items on tonight's consent agenda?
Minutes, matter of approving of the minutes of the regular 35th City Council meeting of April 21st, 2014. Resolution number R1114, matter of recognizing Jamison McKay on his retirement from the City of Berkeley. Proclamation number P0614, matter of adopting a proclamation designating May 2014 as Mental Health Month. Proclamation number P714, matter of adopting a proclamation proclaiming May 2014 as Berkeley History Month. And proclamation number P814, matter of adopting a proclamation celebrating the 142nd anniversary of Arbor Day and designating the week of Sunday, May 18th through Saturday, May 24th, 2014 as Arbor Week.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by
Support.
Councilmember Stedman with support by Councilmember Blanchard. Any corrections, changes, additions? Seeing none. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Edgar,
Yes.
Kadeco,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Now we move on to the regular agenda. Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 1 on tonight's regular agenda?
Recognitions, presentations, matter of any recognitions or presentations from the consent agenda.
I've asked Councilmember Kadekel to read P314.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You want to stand by the podium, please? Before I read it, I want to say a few words, Mr. Mayor, if I may. Jamison, never called you that before. Jamie, I've known you for many years, and I want to congratulate you in my own words first, because 40 years and 7 months to work in one place, one employment, is unheard of. And it's not going to be the same driving up and down Coolidge, watching you in the boulevard, cutting the lawn, or coming by my house to cut down a tree that's laying across the street. But I do want to thank you, and with that, I'll read your proclamation. A resolution of the Council of the City of Berkeley, Michigan, recognizing Jamison McKay on his retirement from the City of Berkeley. Whereas Jamie McKay began his career in Berkeley for the Parks and Recreation Department in the summer of 1972. He later joined the Public Works Division as a laborer on August 27, 1973, and moved up into the equipment operator classification in 1984. And whereas Jamie announced his retirement effective April 1st, 2014, after 40 years of dedication and service in the job he chose as a career, and whereas Jamie McKay grew up in Berkeley and graduated from Berkeley High School in 1972 and continues to be involved in local athletics. He is an avid sports fan and regularly follows the trials and tribulations of his favorite teams, including the University of Michigan, Detroit Lions, Pistons, Tigers, and Red Wings. And whereas Jamie successfully carried out a myriad of duties throughout his tenure, including garbage pickup, snow plowing, building grounds maintenance, leaf collection, and road repairs, to name a few. Most recently, Jamie was on the sewer crew, cleaning and televising Berkeley's 50-plus miles of combination sewer. And whereas Mr. McKay was the first to arrive at work each morning and was always willing to help out the department during emergencies, and whereas Jamie has been a familiar face around the city for many years, and his positive work ethic and attention to detail will be sorely missed by all. Now, therefore, the City of Berkeley resolves that Jamie McKay be and hereby is recognized on the occasion of his retirement from the City of Berkeley and City Council on behalf of local residents and employees, expresses its sincere thanks and appreciation for 40 years of service to our city, and extends our best wishes to Jamie and his wife Joni as they find more time to spend together, along with their daughters Mandy and Emily and son Cody. Introduced and passed this 5th day of May 2014 at a regular meeting of the Berkeley City Council. Phil O'Dwyer, Mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was my pleasure working for the residents of the city of Berkeley for 40 plus years. I took pride in serving them, doing the duties required of me to the best of my ability. I thank my supportive wife for the past 30 years, and I thank God for giving me the strength to serve the town I was born and raised in. I hope the council and the residents realize what an exceptional group of workers the Berkeley Department of Public Works crew is. And thanks for the recognition.
Thank you, Jamie.
Congratulations. Thanks for everything you've done.
That's quite an extraordinary achievement, 40 years in the same job with a dedicated crew in the Public Works Department. We're very proud and very thankful. We wish you well, Jamie.
Thank you.
And now I've asked Councilmember Blanchard to read P0614.
A proclamation of the Council of the City of Berkeley, Michigan, designating May 2014 as Mental Health Month. Whereas mental health is important for our individual well-being and vitality, as well as that of our families, communities, and businesses. And whereas 1 in 5 Americans experience a mental health illness that requires treatment at some point in their lives. And whereas 1 in 10 children has a serious emotional disturbance that, if untreated, can lead to a school failure, physical illness, substance abuse, jail, or even suicide. And whereas May 8th has been designated as National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, and whereas May 19th has been designated Mental Health First Aid Training Week in the state of Michigan, recognizing an in-person training that teaches people how to help people develop how to help people developing a mental illness or in a crisis. And whereas stigma and stereotypes associated with mental illness often keep people from seeking treatment that could improve their quality of life. And whereas mental health is biologically based brain disorder that cannot be overcome through willpower and is not related to a defect in a person's character or intelligence. And whereas mental health recovery is a journey of healing and transformation, enabling people with mental illness to live in a community of his or her choice while striving to achieve his or her full potential. And whereas mental health recovery not only benefits individuals with mental health disorders by focusing on their ability to live, work, learn, and fully participate and contribute to our society, but also enriches the culture of our community life. And whereas the Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority and its service provider agencies are committed to inspiring hope, empowering people, and strengthening the communities. Therefore, the City of Berkeley hereby proclaims May 2014 as Mental Health Month of the City of Berkeley. The City of Berkeley also calls upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and the schools in the City of Berkeley to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental illness and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental health illness to promote recovery. Proclaimed as 5th day of May 2014 at a regular meeting of the Berkeley City Council, signed Phil O'Dwyer, Mayor.
Thank you. And thank you for drawing our attention to such an important issue. We can make proclamations like this, but we cannot make those proclamations without putting money to those proclamations. And our nation and our state have failed to do so in any significant degree. That troubles me greatly. And so it isn't always so much the stigma, but the lack of funds and the opportunities for services that is our biggest issue here. So thank you for making us aware of that very important issue in our state. And now we move on to Proclamation 714. I've asked Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. A proclamation of the Council of the City of Berkley, Michigan, proclaiming May 2014 as Berkley History Month. Whereas, in 1819, the first settlers arrived in what is now Oakland County, and in 1825, a 4-day steamboat service between Detroit and Buffalo enabled many settlers to shorten their journey west as they made their way from New York and New Jersey onwards. Travelers were greeted at Red Tavern, owned by Mother Handsome, at Woodward and Columbia. John Benjamin made his journey from New York and purchased 80 acres of land and built a barn on the site where Roseland Cemetery now sits. And, whereas, the settlers continued arriving, building their farms and raising their families. The first school was built in what is now Berkley in the late 1830s. The first phone line was strung for 10 homes along 11 Mile between Berkley and Royal Oak. In 1919, a town pump was built and electric lighting arrived. In 1923, Berkley became a village, and in 1926, the first Berkley Day celebration was held. And, whereas, on May 23rd, 1932, during the Great Depression, and with just under 6,000 residents, the village of Berkley became a city, with a mayor, 6 commissioners, a city clerk, treasurer, assessor, judge, and constable. And, whereas, since its early days, Berkley has flourished into a city of nearly 15,000 residents, boasting 8 schools, 9 parks, a state-of-the-art library, over 6,000 homes, a unique downtown, and the title 5th safest city in the state of Michigan for 2014. And, whereas, history is made every second, minute, and hour, and with the dedication of a strong group of volunteers as members of the Berkley Historical Committee, its membership gathers information and assembles that information into a format available for us all to treasure for years to come. Now, therefore, the City of Berkley proclaims that the month of May 2014 is hereby proclaimed as Berkley History Month, and that City Council invites every citizen to become acquainted with those who settled here, raised their families, started their businesses by visiting the Berkley Historical Museum. And the City Council urges those familiar with stories or legends of the early days in Berkley to share their accounts and their photos with the membership of the Historical Committee, so that those may be retained for the pleasures of others. Proclaimed this 5th day of May 2014 at a regular meeting of the Berkley City Council. Dr. Phil O'Dwyer, Mayor. And Phil, it's my great pleasure, if I may, to invite the Chair of the Historical Committee, Sue Richardson, to the microphone. Thank you for coming out, and thanks to you and the committee for all that you do.
And as always, thank you for your support, Steve, and also members of the council. It's appropriate that that you've declared this Berkley History Month, because just a little while ago we had a ribbon cutting ceremony with members of the council, and Mayor O'Dwyer cut the ribbon. We have recently revamped the museum. The city was kind enough to include the museum in the recent renovations. So we've got new carpeting and new coat of paint. And so we thought this was a good opportunity to change the nature of the museum. And we think now it is a much better representative of the history of Berkley. So we invite people to come and visit us, and we are going to have a special open house this coming Saturday, May 10th, from 2 to 4 p.m., and we will have refreshments, and so we welcome people to come and visit us. Normally we're open Sundays 2 to 4, but this Sunday being Mother's Day, we give the volunteers the day off. I'm sure you all recall that just a year ago, the Berkley history book came out, and we have heard that it is now in its 4th printing in a year's time, which the publisher finds really amazing. And I hear stories all the time about, even the florists saying that they have, a regular demand for the book, that people want to buy it. And we recently had printed some bookmarks, and we would like to give members of the council these bookmarks that have some quick facts about Berkeley, and there will be a quiz on this material. So we urge you to study this. And I also wanted to recognize members of the committee who are here. Jeff Tong, who is the vice chair of the committee and one of the co-authors of the book, along with Steve Baker and me. We had a lot of fun doing that, so maybe we should do it again. And also Juanita Mathis is here, and Shirley Hansen. They are just some examples of the volunteers who put so much time and effort into keeping the museum something that all the citizens of Berkeley can be proud of. So thank you very much for recognizing our efforts.
Great.
Thank you, Sue.
And we have this for you here.
Thank you for all you guys.
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks for everything, Sue. Great job.
Get around here, we can do it.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is gonna be a quiz.
That's right, he has a-
Thank you, Shirley.
Thanks, Shirley. I got 2.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you to the Historical Society for preserving important committee, the committee that has, for the last several years, really focused on reviving, and the achievement of the artifact from Rochester was an amazing, and that is worth going to see by itself. And so we're thankful for all you do to preserve our history and keep us aware of the newer things that are coming on. Thank you. And now I have asked Councilmember Edgar to read P 814.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A proclamation of the Council of the City of Berkeley, Michigan, celebrating the 142nd anniversary of Arbor Day and designating the week of Sunday, May 18th through Saturday, May 24th, 2014, as Arbor Week. Whereas, in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and stated other holidays repose upon the past, Arbor Day proposes for the future. And whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling cost, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, increase property value, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas the City of Berkeley is proud to be a recipient of the Tree City USA Award for the 24th consecutive year, and in 2004, Berkeley became the first community in the state of Michigan to receive the Sterling Award as a leader and innovator in the community forestry. And whereas it is the intent of the City Council to pledge its commitment to the understanding, education, and support of the global environmental challenge, and therefore to spotlight for our community some of the best things the city can affirm. Now, therefore, the City of Berkeley proclaims, Section 1, that the week of Sunday, May 18th through Saturday, May 24th, 2014, be and hereby is designated as Arbor Week in the City of Berkeley. And the City Council urges all residents to nurture and care for existing trees as well as plant new ones, and to become aware of how beneficial trees are to the Earth's beauty and environment. And Section 2, that Wednesday, May 21st, 2014, is hereby proclaimed as Arbor Day in the city of Berkeley, and all residents are urged to support efforts to care for our trees and to support the Berkeley Tree Board, celebrating their 24th anniversary, pursuing various programs, making the community aware of the importance of trees, bushes, and shrubs. And Section 3, in celebration of the above, the Department of Public Works and the Tree Board will be planting 3 new trees at the Berkeley Library. Proclaimed this 5th day of May, 2014, at a regular meeting of the Berkeley City Council. Phil O'Dwyer, Mayor.
Thank you. And we'd like to commend the work of the Tree Board. It does enormous work in taking care of our trees, making suggestions, making recommendations, and planting trees. It is a great contribution to the quality of life and the environment in our city, and we're thankful for all they do. And now, Ms. Boucher, would you please read item number 2?
Motion number M2214, matter of approving appointments to various boards and commissions.
Is there a motion to approve M2214?
Move to approve M2214.
To
Support.
approve by Councilmember Kideckel with support by Councilmember Edgar. Mr. Sessa.
Good evening again, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and also to welcome members of the public for joining us at this council meeting. Under this item, Your Honor, as the city manager, I have been given the privilege of recommending someone for the city council to consider for appointment to the Downtown Development Authority. Now, under this position, this individual will join the DDA in helping us to identify projects and programs that will enhance our downtown area. And with that, I'd like to recommend for the City Council's consideration Ms. Bridget Dean. Just to give you a little bit of background about Ms. Dean, she has a master's in social work from the University of Michigan, and she has worked as a social worker in community mental health. And she also, in Berkeley in particular, currently is a businesswoman, and she has a knit shop. I'm sure many of you have heard it. It's called Have You Any Wool? It's on Robina in Berkeley, and it's been in existence since 2004. As required under our boards and commissions, she is a U.S. citizen, and she has been a resident of the city of Berkeley for more than 9 years. Under this application, we ask applicants to tell us what are their interests and qualifications for appointment. Under her application, Ms. Dean states that as a Berkeley resident and business owner, she believes that she has a vested interest in her city, and she would like to work in developing to ensure that it moves forward in terms of growth as well as aesthetics. She has served on the Greater Berkeley Area Chamber of Commerce for 2 terms and believes that this experience, as well as other positions, have set her for success on the DDA. She appreciates the council's consideration. With that, Your Honor, I do recommend her appointment.
Thank you. And now we have other appointees.
Yes, Your Honor. You want me to go ahead, proceed with
Please.
that? Yes. Also, on the Woodward Dream Cruise Ad Hoc Committee, we have 2 appointments that the City Council needs to consider as well. The first is Mr. Daniel Irwin, and he is his occupation is in the field of finance, and he has more than 30 years in this field. 27 of those years dedicated to the automotive industry through various tiers, suppliers, and OEMs, as he says. I don't know what that means. But he is a U.S. citizen, and he has been a resident of the city of Berkeley for more than 25 years. Again, when asked the question about interest and qualifications for this appointment, he indicates that he has been involved in the Dream Cruise for most of his of its existence through various support groups. He is now anxious to expand this role as an official member of the Woodward Dream Cruise Ad Hoc Committee. And he also adds, as other information that he feels would be important for your selection, he's also assisted us with merchandise sales through the Berkeley Boosters and the Hoops organizations. So with that, Your Honor, we are recommending Mr. Irwin for your consideration. Next, we have Mr. Scott. I knew I was going to do this. Here we go. Mr. Scott Zuklewski. Thank you, Councilman. He is a video productions provider, and he has worked in the field of communications for approximately 25 years. He's also worked for 2 Michigan municipalities and 1 equipment reseller and 1 live events company before he opened his own business almost 9 years ago. He is a U.S. citizen, and he has been a resident of the city of Berkeley for more than 6 years. When asked the question about his interests and qualifications, he states, "My interests include the growth in both the city of Berkeley and the Berkeley Area Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Berkeley Cruise Fest." He states that he has been a member of the Chamber of Commerce for the past 5 years, and he's also donated his time and resources to the Berkeley Public Safety Behind the Badge program, as well as a Keep Berkeley Strong millage project. With that, Your Honor, I do recommend these individuals for the City Council to consider.
Thank you. And so we have 3 candidates then, Bridget Dean, Daniel Irwin, and Scott Zuklewski. Is there any discussion on any of these candidates? Yeah.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd just like to say I have worked with both Bridget Dean and Scott Zuklewski on the Chamber of Commerce as liaison to them. They've both done fine jobs, and I recommend their acceptance.
Very good.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
OEMs would be, Jack?
Original equipment manufacturers.
Thank you.
And tier one suppliers are the first level supplier to the automotive industry.
Perfect.
And Dan Irwin has excelled in that role, indeed. So all these 3 candidates are exceptional people personally and exceptional contributors to our community.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So if there's no further discussion, then Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll on M2214?
Hideko,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
Chair Brack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Edgar,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. And now we come to the communications portion of tonight's meeting, and I believe Council Member Stedman is up first.
Oh, great. Okay, just a minute. I have some announcements that I have to find from the library, and they will be here in just one moment. You're there.
Modern electronics.
Right, right. Okay. Matt Church, our librarian, wanted me to mention these programs that are coming up during the month of May. Monday, May 12th, ebooks at the library. And this is where, if you would like to get ebooks for your iPad, Kindle, or other device, attend this free class and learn how to download ebooks from the library's online collection. That sounds like a very worthwhile class. Bring your device if you'd like hands-on help after the class. And it's reserved for Berkeley residents who can register. You can register at the Adult Reference Desk or call the library. Intercaste Marriage in Nepal by Megan Vigent. Former Berkeley resident Megan Vigent will present her multimedia documentary, Untouchable Love, about intercaste marriage. Vigent's presentation centers on 2 young dance teachers in Nepal, Nisha and Raj, trying to keep their relationship a secret. When her family learns of their development, or their elopement, they go on to great lengths to stop it, and so on and so forth. Their story offers a surprising discovery of freedom, and you can also register at the reference desk or call the library. And the used book sale presented by the Friends of the Library, Berkeley Days Weekend, is coming up soon, and this will be Friday, May 16th, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturday, May 17th, 9 to 9, and Sunday, May 18th, 9 to 5. It will be in the Ice Arena, and I believe that they prefer softcover books because they have to transport them. Any hardcover books, though, that you do have around your house and want to donate, the library always looks at the books first before they decide to sell them and decide if they want to keep them. So books are always welcome as a donation to the library. They always have a wonderful selection. And that's all I have tonight, except congratulations to Annette.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Blanchard.
Just one quick thing, Your Honor. Public safety golf outing is May 19th at Red Run. Just want to remind everybody that the money we make on this is used to do Lids for Kids, fire open house, and a number of activities. And if you're not familiar with Lids for Kids, it's a program where we bring youngsters in, fit them with a helmet for their bike operations, check the bikes to make sure they're safe. Little ones, we run them through a course, show them how to ride and how to stop and what the traffic laws are. So it's very informative. And of course, fire open house is held in the fall. And there again, we show the kids how we shoot water out the hose and the smokehouse and how to escape and how to, drop and roll and those types of things are trained. So they're very, very good events, and they're primarily supported by things like the golf outing, which is May 19th. So get your clubs out and polish them up and get ready. Thank you, Your Honor.
Councilmember Baker.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple of quick things. The transit discussions for many of us who have been aware of this dialogue for the last couple of years now are coming together very nicely. There is a series of conversations this week around the locations, the proposed locations for transit stops along Woodward Avenue, and Berkley will be advocating to have ourselves included on the list. We think that our city can and should have a stop available for our businesses and our residents, both now and in the future. So we certainly look forward to those conversations and ensure that we have representation along the Woodward Avenue as part of the proposed transit system. As we've already heard so much about the Berkley History Month, what else can I say except just again to thank the committee and for all their work, and to thank the residents and businesses for supporting the museum, for their generosity of donating items and stories and letting the committee borrow and scan the photos and things like that. It's been tremendous. As was mentioned, the new public open house is this Saturday from 2 to 4 at the museum, and look forward to seeing you there. Hopefully that'll work out for you to come enjoy and see all that the museum has to offer. Lee Iacocca, kind of continuing the automotive sector, I suppose, once said, to succeed these days, you have to set priorities and decide what you stand for. So again, to succeed these days, you have to set priorities and decide what you stand for. And one of the ways that we here in the city of Berkley have an opportunity to set our priorities is by where we put our finances, where we put our money. And of course, I know this is one of our favorite topics, is the budget discussions. And so I brought, this is the budget material that we'll be reviewing next week's Monday, Tuesday, and potentially Wednesday. We often kind of joke about, but it's actually a very informative conversation. We actually go, every single line of this book is discussed in great detail to understand where the money's going, what we're doing with it, and how it helps move the city forward. So it's a great discussion. It's very well facilitated. I continue to learn every time we go through this process about the ways in which these resources are put to good use. And I encourage anyone who's interested to please come and help be a part of it, to learn, to ask questions, and help shape where our priorities are so that we can help move our city forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Turbrack.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Last council meeting, I mentioned that the summer was quickly approaching, and to be on the lookout for all of the offerings of the Parks and Recreation Department. I did a little bit of research so I could tell you specifically about some of those items coming up this summer. First off, we have a number of specialty camps throughout the summer. That includes everything from Lego camps, sports camps, yoga camps, whatever that is, camps, skate camps, truly some kind of camp for everybody. So please be on the lookout for those at Parks and Rec. Now, on top of that, we have our normal and our awesome summer day camp that'll be running for 11 weeks again this year. It's from June 16th to August 20th, and we have 3 camp sessions this year: kids camp, junior camp, and a senior camp. The deadline for early bird registration for those camps, for summer camp, is May 23rd. So please get that in. If you have additional questions, please contact the Parks and Rec Department. With these camps, we have a number of field trips. They do crafts, they play sports, they watch some movies, they go out to lunch. A lot of things to make sure that not only are the children safe and they have a good time, but they're also engaging in activities that are also stimulating for their minds as well, and not just taking the summer off. Additionally, next week is Berkley Days, and all of the Berkley Days events, not next week, the week after, come along with that. Not this coming week, I should say. And normally I would take some time right now to talk about the softball game that would be coming up. Instead, I'm going to change gears a little bit, and I'm going to request that it rain on May 14th, and that there is, in fact, no softball game this year. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it on the 14th, and my concern is really twofold. One, we lose because I'm not there, and while that may not necessarily be the most likely outcome, we may win because I'm not there, and then I will not be able to play in the future, most likely. That, and, you know, the mayor needs some help in making some decisions on who plays. We certainly need to make sure we know who's pitching and who is not pitching, and those sort of things. So I guess if it is nice weather, I certainly wish everybody luck. I'll be following the mayor's tweets. He'll be live tweeting the game, so I will know what is going on. And with the rest of the events, Taste of Berkley, which I'm sure my colleague, Councilmember Kadekel, will mention shortly, and everything else that happens, the horseshoe pitching, I really hope, except for the 14th, that it's great weather and everybody has a great time and is able to come out and celebrate what a wonderful city we have. We talked about a number of things. We talked about volunteers, the history of Berkley, all the things that make us unique, and we'll be celebrating those during Berkley Days. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Edgar.
Just to follow up with Councilmember Baker, I agree, the Historical Society has done a wonderful job. It was lovely to be at the opening tonight, and thank you very much for what you do, and everyone should come and check it out. It's pretty amazing. Two, Councilmember Turbrick, I want to reassure you that we'll be fine with the game this year because I'm running.
But you're just running.
I am just running.
To run, though, right?
This is true. He does, and we can hope that happens. I want to again, in the same kind of vein with the Arbor Day and Arbor Week, encourage everyone to look into the Berkley Beautification Advisory Committee. The committee studies and recommends various approaches to making and keeping Berkley clean and beautiful. If you'd like to stay up to date with their work, they have a wonderful Facebook page. Check them out there and certainly like them. And other than that, just happy Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you. Councilmember Kadekel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I don't know how many of you noticed, a familiar face is not here tonight, and that's because Josephine Brewer's home nursing a little bug, and she wants me to say hi to everyone, and hello to you, Josephine, and we look forward to seeing you up and around soon. This past Saturday, I was able to go to the soccer clinic over at Hurley Field. I want to thank Parks and Rec Director Tom Caldwell, who was also there for the Lions Club, and Matt Church, our Public Library Director, for putting this together along with Eastern Michigan. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't great, but there were still a lot of kids running around and having a good time. I want to welcome to our community that is opening tomorrow, Ed and Marcella. They are the proprietors of Big B Coffee, and they are having their opening tomorrow, and they are located at 12 Mile and Oakshire in the strip mall there, and I want to wish them all the luck. Ms. Rubin mentioned earlier about the Rotary Club moving. They are moving starting June 2nd. Their meetings will be held at O'Mara's, seeing they will no longer be able to use the church. Volunteers. Tonight we added Ms. Dean, Mr. Zakalewski, and Mr. Irwin to committees, and we can't say it enough up here. Volunteers are so important to our community, and I want to thank the three of them for coming forth. I look forward to working with the two gentlemen on Cruise Fest Committee, and I've worked with them in the past, and I know they'll do a great job. Before our next meeting, I want to wish Mayor Pro Tem and his wife Jacqueline the best of luck as the arrival of their new child is about to happen, and may God be with you and everything go well. Taste of Berkeley, as Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, will be next Thursday, May 15th, adults only, $25 from 6 to 9. Benefits, the proceeds benefit the Berkeley Huntington Woods Youth Assistant. And a quick rundown of who will be there. It'll be Amici's, the American Legion, Berkeley's Gourmet Cupcakes and Party Cakes, Big B Coffee, Coco Fairfield, Crispelli's, Farina's Banquet Center, Firehouse Subs, The Lunch Cafe, Mr. Kebab, O'Mara's, Republica, and Vincetta Garage. And for the small price of $25, you come to the Berkeley Community Center, and it's really a nice evening. And my number is on the marquee, so if anybody's interested in getting tickets, they can call me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Sessa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just simply would like to remind everyone that much of this information is available on our website, and that's at www.berkley.org. So please visit our website and get all this information, and hopefully you'll subscribe so that we can send you much of this information as well. As has already been stated, I look forward to meeting with the City Council on our budget sessions during May 12th, 13th, and hopefully not the 14th. But certainly we will have an interesting time. I'd also like to personally congratulate Jamie McKay for his years of service. Certainly 40 years is a tremendous amount of time. Cannot thank him for all his work. 40 years, I don't know of too many people I can say today that they've been at that one business or one company for that time. So I congratulate him. And also, I'd like to congratulate the Historical Committee for all their work and their reopening of the museum. I know that they've put this lovely book together, but I will challenge them again, and I think they know what I'm talking about, on a hard book cover of the history of Berkeley. I know that's a lot of people ask me about that. There's so much history of our city, so it's a challenge. We'll see what happens. So with that, I'd also like to wish everyone a Feliz Cinco de Mayo, and with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Sabuda.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have nothing this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney.
Very briefly, Your Honor, just as a reminder to the residents, as your prosecutor with the nice weather, code enforcement is out in the community, and just wanted to make sure that residents are proactive to the extent that they get a notice of violation, call code enforcement, and try and avoid having a citation issued. I mean, that's really the last thing code enforcement wants to do, but just a reminder with the nice weather to try and stay on top of that.
Thank you. I guess it falls to me to note that Mother's Day is coming up. And I would like to thank all mothers for what they do and say to each one, may you live as long as you want, and may you never want as long as you live. On that thought, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn by Councilmember Cadecle.
Support.
Support by Councilmember Stedman. Ms. Boucher, would you please call the roll?
Turbrack,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Blanchard,
Yes.
Edgar,
Yes.
Kadeco,
Yes.
Stedman,
Yes.
O'Dwyer.
Yes. Meeting adjourned.